redback spider. Hello, welcome to Aussie Wildlife. Today we're going to talk about how I built this big octagon aviary. Basically, I built this aviary with the intentions of putting all of my birds in it. I didn't have too many birds at the time, but I wanted something that was big, something that I could keep everything in, something that they would love and have the space to fly in, because I always thought, well, if you're keeping birds, you need to be able to keep them so they can fly. And so I decided I want to build a big aviary, but I want to build something different. I don't want to build just a big square or rectangular aviary. I want to build something nice. So I put this one together. I had to start off by finding a tree. And what I did with this tree was I went, alright, I need to measure everything evenly. I didn't do that with a tape measure, which was my mistake. What I actually did was I grabbed a post, one of these things here, and I went, alright, that is the distance, that is where my next post is going to be, because that is the length that these are. And I did 8 of those, all the right separation apart as well. This aviary isn't actually perfect. Like this is actually much larger than this. Anyway, once I had all of my posts around the aviary, I put up some bars just connecting it to the tree just to get an average idea of how it's supposed to look. And after that, I needed to figure out how I'm going to get in this, so I built a double door. Once I put in the double door, I was quite happy with how the outside looked. So then I got into tinning, and finding this much tin was not an easy task. Fortunately for me, my dad works in aeroplanes, also includes hangars, and so there was a hangar that had just been built, so I took all the leftover tin, recycling. And once I had all my tin in, I needed to wire it. Now that was an effort. So I went to Bunnings and I got all the wire that I needed for it. This wire is much thicker than like budgie wire. That's because something with that size beak can go through budgie wire, not a problem. So after that, I decided, alright, now I've got to get this wire on to the aviary. Now that was an effort. So I got my dad to give me a hand and we put this wire on with only a few little areas where it popped out, which was good. Also, this is Polly girl. She's a good girl, aren't you? So after getting all that wiring onto the aviary, it was pretty much done. All I needed to do was actually get this around a tree. So I built a little octagon just up there and we got going. Basically, we just wired around that little octagon there with budgie wire, 2 layers, one up the top, one down the bottom, and that's really stretchy wire, and that actually stops it from snapping any of these beams just along here when the wind blows. And then I was able to, he's not going to stop talking, is he? Then I was able to actually plant this place out, so I put some bird's nest plants here, some of these little ferns and what have you, and made it look really nice. And ignore that that's not actually running and it's really green. Don't worry, they don't drink from that or anything. It's just there. The filter needs to be fixed up. The birds are happy, aren't they, Princey? Are you happy, mate? I guess he's not very happy. Polly's happy though. She's always a happy girl. She's a really good girl. There she goes. Eclectus parrot eggs. Yes, you've got eggs, don't you, sweetheart? Yes, you do. Then we get this little section. Now this was never intended for lorikeets beforehand. I just put them in here because they needed somewhere to go. That was not just little cages. Oh, you can't really see them. Now this here was intended for a python. To be precise, this python. So this guy just here, his name is Charlie Brown. He is a beautiful coastal carpet python. Got a love for the Australian wildlife. Such cool animals. And that's the reason why it's little tiny, teeny bits of wire. It's made for a python. And that all these gaps are filled here with gap foam. But he's got years till he grows into this thing, so for now we've got these cool little dudes in here. And I did originally plan for this aviary here, the whole big one, to be a New Guinea themed aviary. Hence I've got the eclectus parrots in there. And I do have emerald doves. Here they are. That were going to go in here. And when they did go in here, Prince, the male eclectus parrot, kind of went after them and almost killed them, so they're not going in there anymore.